Okay, I've said this before, but hair and makeup like tutorials are not my forte, but some of you have been asking if I cut my hair at home, which I did, so I'll share a few tips around that. Also how I'm adding volume now without having to back comb, which has been really nice. Touching up my roots, and a few of my other favorite tips and tricks when it comes to hair and makeup. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom. Like I said, normally we're not talking about hair and makeup, but normally we're talking about how to simplify your house quickly, which feels extra important right now. But if we still need to look presentable at times while we're safe at home, I just want to share with you a few things that I've been doing lately that have been actually making a really big difference. If you're like, quarantine hair, don't care, totally respect that too. I think for some of us it's nice. It just feels a little more normal to do our hair and makeup, or if we have Zoom calls, or if you're an essential worker having to go to work right now. So first I want to share a few tips for cutting your hair, and then I'll show you how I'm adding volume now, making my hair last longer so I don't have to wash it so frequently, covering up my roots, and a couple other of my favorite tips. So let's get started. Okay, so some of you asked if I did cut my hair at home, and I did. It was getting to the point where I couldn't just straighten it and have it look nice, and when I was curling it didn't feel like the curls were holding as well because the ends were just getting not nice. I also have thin hair, which makes it much easier. So if you have thicker hair, it is gonna make it more difficult. But here are the best tricks that I was told by a friend who's a stylist if you are gonna try and cut your hair at home. Of course, you have to have sharp scissors. If you try to use dull scissors, it's not a good idea. So you have to have sharp scissors. She also said that you should cut, if you're cutting your hair at home, you should actually do it not wet like at the salon, but when it is clean, dried, and styled. So that's what I did. So like I said, I've already cut my hair, but I did take about an inch off. So I was able just to then comb it down straight, pinch it between my fingers, and trim. Now, was it like perfect? I was trying to keep it like a little longer in the front and then angle towards the back. No, it wasn't perfect. So then what I did was the next time I washed my hair, when it was wet and I kind of then had my length established, then I went back through and just kind of trimmed any longer pieces to just even it all out, because that definitely is easier when it's wet to get it really even, especially if you have more of a blunt cut. The other thing she said is to always, you want to cut vertically. So you want to cut this is hard. You want to cut this way, not necessarily horizontal, especially if you want to add like a little bit of layers into it so it's not quite so blunt. So take your comb again and pull it out and cut vertically. And the other tip was to only cut what you can see in front of you. So I just parted it in the back and then pulled everything forward and cut it like that. She said trying to use a mirror looking backwards is just asking for trouble. So that's what I did. And then I just wasn't afraid over the next few days. Every time I styled it or straightened it, I would just look, and you know, when there's a couple long pieces, I would just trim those off. So it was not perfect right away, but it was just enough for it to feel fresh again, and like I can just straighten it and wear it that way. Okay, so then once I have it straightened, like I said, my hair is fairly thin, and so I found a cool new way. Normally the way I add volume to my hair is just to take a section and then back comb it. Like that's always how I've added volume, and then I would usually spray it with hairspray, which was fine and it worked, but it would usually only last like 1 day, maybe 2 days, and we'll talk about in a few minutes how we can stretch it out so we don't have to wash our hair so frequently. But what I've been using lately is actually a mini crimper, and so I got this on Amazon. A regular crimper can work too, or even if you've purchased one of the waving tools we've recommended, this can work too depending on how thick your hair is. And so what I really like about the mini crimper is that I go about between 6 and 7 days between washing my hair, and this will last that whole time. In fact, it almost gets like reactivated when I brush through my hair. It kind of separates the crimps again. And so the trick with this is just to make sure none of the crimping is showing, because you don't actually want it to show. It looks pretty funky, like it's a pretty small plate there. And so I just go down a couple layers in my hair. So I'll just I'll pull these top layers up, and now that I've practiced it a little bit, I kind of have a good idea where I should start and where I should end. I take a fairly thin section of hair, and you want to hold it upward, and then you just do 2 crimps like that. And so Can you see that? And so it's just enough to not make your hair all lay flat together. And so then I just do another 2, and it only takes 2. You can go down further and you can experiment with that if you want to, but that's what I've been doing. And I go down a good number of layers just to really get some good volume in my hair, again, because it is so thin. I felt like the back combing was hard on my hair and it just didn't last a super long time, where this, I feel like this lasts much longer. So you can already see now how that has added more volume to my hair. And I've been doing the side tuck on this side, and so it's really quick and easy. And then I just go back to this side and I do the same thing, starting about here on the crown line. I kind of want it to match up, and then going down. And you can just see how much more volume that's already giving. Quick, easy, and like I said, lasts. But there are still a few products I use. Like I'll put a volumizing mousse in right after I wash my hair, and this Kenra thickening spray, and then of course a heat protectant too. So those are kind of the products I put in right after I wash my hair. So I do still use some products, but I don't feel like I have to use products every day now, just when I wash my hair once a week. I can go 6 to 7 days now without washing my hair. This hair I haven't washed in 5 or 6 days, I think. And so how you're able to get to that point is by training your hair. And this is the perfect time to do that while we're at home, is to train your hair to go longer between washings and to not produce so much oil. But while you're training it, it's not so much fun, right? Because your hair gets oily and you just want to wash it. And so of course one of the products I use then to work against that is dry shampoo. I really like this, again, because my hair is thin. I like the texture that it gives my hair, but it gets a little bit pricey. Like this can at Walmart is like $8 or $9, $8. And so what I like to use, especially now when we're at home and I'm not going out, is talc-free baby powder. And so the trick with this is when you're opening it, have it open just a little bit, especially when you're first starting to learn to use it. And so what I'll do is I'll just lift up a layer and then I'll just sprinkle just a little bit on. It doesn't take a whole lot. But another tip, if you end up with kind of big blotchy white spots in your hair, especially when you're getting used to it, is to put it on at nighttime. So then it has plenty of time to soak into your hair, into your scalp, and then when you wake up, your hair is really good to go and it doesn't feel too oily. Again, if you wash your hair every day right now, then try and just go every other day. If you wash your hair every other day, try and stretch it out a day. So now go every 3 days and add another day in between washings about every 2 weeks. And it'll take a couple months, but you could also get to a point where you don't have to wash your hair all the time. I can still shower and just not wash my hair, or take a bath and not get my hair wet, and it's awesome. I like it because I feel like it helps my hair to be healthier because I'm not washing it all the time, but it's just so much quicker to style hair that's already has product in it and has been styled than to always be starting from scratch when I wash it. Okay, now I have baby powder all over my shirt. Also, don't have clothes on that you want to wear for the day when you're putting the baby powder in. It can get everywhere. Okay, so let's talk about hair color right now. So you've probably seen these root touch-up powders. The problem is I've tried a few and they are not created equal. So this is the only one I've found that actually works really well. It's called Style Edit. I'll link to it down below. I was just checking and quite a few sites still have it in stock. Comes in lots of different colors. I'm using the lightest blonde color because I want to match up my highlights. So right now I'm still mostly able to cover my gray with highlights, and so that's what I try to do. And so what's cool about this is when you open it up, so you can see the powder in there, and then there's like a dauber that comes with it. And so you just rub this in there to get some on it. And then I just take a section of my hair. So like if I want to do these front pieces right here, because I'm trying to match up my highlights, I don't do all of it, but you could use it for all of your roots. And then you just like literally like dauber it on. But what's cool and what I like about this compared to the other ones I've tried is that it's very opaque. Like it shows up really well and it'll last a couple days too. It's a little bit tedious to put this on, but it does last multiple days for me. So I really appreciate that. So then I'll just take another section and dab it on. But of course you could also use like eyeshadow, I've heard people say works well. Another trick too, if you're trying to cover your roots, is to have your hair be crimpy or curly. And so of course I've talked about the waving iron before. I love this. This is a perfect time. Also, if you hear kids in the background, it's a Zoom meeting with their class. Yeah, okay. Just like my teacher told me to do it. I've talked about the waving iron, but this one's by Bedhead. I love it. I have a video on it. So obviously when your hair is wavy or curly, it helps to hide your roots more. But also if you have some extra time at home, it's a great time to practice with this because it does take a little bit of practice. But once you get it, it is so fun. And I love that it works well on short hair, long hair. The only people that don't have super great success is if you have thick, long hair. It takes forever. And so that might not be best for you. But if you have thinner hair, this is really fun. It's fun for kids too. Okay, so my last tip is makeup related, and so my friend Kate told me this tip quite a long time ago, and it's the 2 mascara trick for really filling out your eyelashes. And so what you do is you get 2 different mascaras. I think it works better if they're different brands. These are both in the same family. They're both Maybelline, but I like these if you're looking for like $6 or under mascara. I know there's great expensive mascaras out there. I just can't bring myself to buy them. But here's what you do is you put 1 layer on of one kind, and go to do it on both eyes, and then come back and use a different brand. It really doesn't matter what the 2 mascaras are, but you go back then with a different mascara, and it works awesome, and it really fills in your eyelashes, makes them look longer, thicker, all those great things. And so that is an awesome trick that I use all the time. And I'm guessing you probably know this one too, but I like to use saline solution in my mascara once it starts to get dried out a little bit. Usually there's still mascara in there, it's just a matter of reactivating it. So a couple drops of saline solution, especially right now we're trying to make everything last longer. And I don't know, I can usually get like another week or 2 out of my mascara, so that works well too. And also because we have some extra time at home right now, I think it's a great time to play around with false eyelashes. I like putting these on like if we're going to a wedding or something special, but it does take a little bit of practice. And also what I'm learning is that not all fake eyelashes are the same. And so I used to just get them at Walmart, but I saw these recommended on Amazon. They're like under $4 and they come with the glue, so super inexpensive. But what I like about them is the shape. I don't know if it's just my eyes, but they like perfectly had the shape of my like eyelashes already. And so I did not have to readjust these at all. I could literally just put them on like the first try. They're also, I cut them a little bit shorter, so especially if you're new to false eyelashes and you're just practicing with them, cutting them shorter makes it easier to put on and to line up. And so I would definitely recommend that too, especially if you're just kind of wanting to play around with them and experiment with them. So you just let it sit for like 20 seconds once we put the glue on to get tacky. And then I like to just start at the outside corner and work it in so I can get the outside lined up. I like to go just a touch past my natural lash line with it. All right, just like that. I probably could have had it scooted down just a little bit further, but again, that's just where it takes practice. But I really, I don't know. You tell me. I feel like these look really natural, and I didn't. Unlike some I've gotten in the past, I've had to like trim them, otherwise you like put them on and you're like, whoa, holy fake eyelashes, right? And so, I don't know, my eyes don't have a ton of definition, so it's just a way to kind of open them up, bring a little more drama, and it's fun for special occasions, but now definitely is a great time to be practicing with them. And this is still my eyeshadow palette. I don't have any on right now, but that I've been using and I really like, so I'll link to that down below too. And I also forgot, our friends at Empowered Goods send these, and what is so cool is that they employ women in Mexico and pay them a fair wage. And so they have an Etsy shop, awesome products. Their spring line is out right now too, very reasonably priced, but I think it'd be so fun if you sent these to like a friend of yours, a mom or a sister, just for them to get something fun and springy in the mail right now, and to know you're helping out a good cause. If you're able to do that right now, I think that would be super cool. But I do have 3 pairs that I also want to give away. So leave a comment down below. What's driving you crazy with like quarantine beauty right now? Are you doing the like couldn't care less, or where are you at with that? Or if you have any like favorite tips or tricks to how to extend your hair color or cut your own hair, leave that down below. It's super helpful. And anyone who leaves a comment and is subscribed to our channel will be entered to win one of those 3 pairs of earrings. So you can find all the details in the description. But I love you. I'm looking forward to seeing your favorite tips and tricks, and we'll visit again soon.